Hey, Shawn, thanks for talking to Radio DotCom. Congratulations on Wonder.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's the new single. I was able to hear it this morning. Incredible stuff. It just sounds big. Like it sounds like a big entrance back and it's passionate. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's definitely a big entrance back for sure. I think that also for me, this was really tough trying to like figure out what I wanted the first thing back to be until this song came about, and it ended up just like really just being like, hey Shawn, I'm the song. This is the first thing everyone's gonna hear. And I was like, cool, all right, this is you.
Yeah, it's funny because you know how fans will always do like those reaction videos after a new song drops? I'm
Yeah.
always curious, like, what was your reaction to it when the song was completely finished and produced and you were able to hear the full thing back for the first time?
Well, I wish that it worked that way, but it's more so like hearing the whole thing back like 700 times before it's finished. But to be honest with you, with that being said, that this time around felt a little different to me because I had ideas and I had chords and melodies and I worked with these musicians who it felt like I've never experienced this before, but it felt like they were able to just like take my song and turn it into something that even after the like 300th time listening to it, it really makes me feel something amazing. And, you know, especially by the time I get to that last chorus, I'm like, damn, I really think this sounds so good. And I feel so good about it. And I feel so good about what I'm saying conceptually. And as a person, in terms of like what I really just love about music, this song has a lot of that in its DNA.
Yeah, and my first impression of it was that it definitely sounds like a Shawn Mendes song, but I felt like I heard you somewhat evolving as an artist. Do you agree? Do you feel like that happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've mainly evolved as a person, and that's kind of reflecting in the music, you know. I think one thing that really kind of happened to me over the last 6 months is this real moment of a bit reflecting and kind of like looking at my own life, but also like being able to look at the world and not be so caught up in my career and my job and my life, but able to like kind of look around and see things a lot clearer for the first time. And learning that like when it comes to matters of the heart, you don't really have to be a professor of it. You just have to know morally inside what is right and what is wrong and what is good and what is bad. And everyone has the right to state those feelings and not only just state them, but really stand behind them. And I feel like Wonder is in a lot of ways me just reflecting on my life and life in general. And I think that I've never really done that before, probably for a lot of different reasons, probably because I didn't have the mental capacity and clarity to even be able to reflect. And also probably because I was really scared of what people would think if I started to reflect in my music like that. And there's the real sense of freedom that this song oozes out to me. That makes me love it even more.
Yeah, that makes me think there's that one line in particular in that song that jumped out to me, and it says, I wonder when I cry into my hands, I'm conditioned to feel like less of a man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's such a real thing for men, that they're conditioned to hide their feelings and not be emotional. Do you feel any pressure from that when putting out a more emotional and honest song?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, that's my favorite lyric on the entire album, to be honest. And I think one thing that really made that even more, I thought that I was like a pretty open, emotional guy until I started being in a relationship with someone that I really, truly love and realizing that, oh no, I really have this big ego and I don't want to show her that I'm hurting and I don't want to show her that offended me. And like, I want to be the man and I want to be strong in this relationship. And it actually was hurting our relationship. And to get to a point where I'm like, you know, like, oh, the real strength does lie inside of being emotional and being vulnerable was really hard for me, because I thought I wrote songs like In My Blood were and I thought that I was I thought I was vulnerable and emotional until I realized that I wasn't, and I still probably am not comparatively to what we can be. And it's been a lot, and like I say in the song, yeah, I wonder why when I cry into my hands I'm conditioned to feel like it makes me less of a man. And noticing like, oh yeah, the way the world has gone and the way life has kind of gone for so many men and people it's conditioning. It's what you've kind of been taught, and it doesn't always necessarily mean that it's right, and actually means that you should rethink everything and make sure that you are aligned with the way you feel and what you do. And Yeah, that lyric, I'm so happy it resonated with you, because that's
Yeah.
the one that I listen back to that song every time, and that one gives me goosebumps.
Oh, for sure. It's the one I kept jumping back to. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what did he just say? Oh, that was so good. One more time.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a particular artist who you've admired for putting their emotions and honesty into music that kind of made you feel like you could do so in a way?
You know, it's funny. I think that there's music especially, and music is a tough one because it takes a lot of courage to be really honest and to be very real inside of music, especially when you've had success in a place where maybe you were just writing more vague lines. And it doesn't always have to be the deepest thing in the world to resonate, by the way, because sometimes the simplest songs resonate. And I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that for me, actually, someone that has been over the last year really inspiring me is actually Alicia Keys. And I know she just released her album, and I've been watching the way she's been handling the promotion and the way she's been doing the videos and the way she's been talking about her album. And it's love, love, love. Like, I hope that you love this. I'm sending love out to you guys. Hey, to be honest, it's okay if you don't love it, because I love it. And she's like dancing to her own music on the Instagram. And there's like this amazing sense of self-love and self-acceptance and self-belief that she has in the way that her music is kind of being shown to the world right now. And I think always in her case. And it's inspiring. It's really inspiring. And it only makes the music sound better and feel better. And so she's someone I've been really kind of paying attention to and watching, you know?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about too, because I've watched her do that as well. And I thought the same things. Like, she's just like proud of her art, and it doesn't matter because it's art, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Was there a defining moment where you realized wonder was going to be this overlying theme for the entire album? Like, how did the idea for this concept start?
I was journaling a lot, and the word wonder we were playing with for months before I even started writing the album. But I was journaling a lot, and then I had the melody of that song, and I ended up writing, I wonder what it was. I wonder this, just writing down. And I started seeing how many times I wrote I wonder, and it turned into this real, it was funny because a lot of the album was wrote before Wonder, but when Wonder kind of came, it was like the mother of the album. That sounds
Really?
it sounds so weird to say that, but it really did feel like the essence of the album. And I just lent into that even harder. And as we were writing the songs, we were just we were not going to let it slide. I wasn't going to just like let it be something very simple and let it be something very vague. It wasn't going to be that, because like as the leader of the album, the way I see it, it needed to stand, and it needed to like explain what this album really is. And I'm not talking conceptually, because I think that if you like mumbled every word that I said, the melodies and the instrumentation would give you a feeling of a hope, of freedom, and love and intimacy mixed with this crazy tornado at the end. And it would give you the essence of what the album is, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I was going to get into the other song that you also just put out, Intro. And when it said Get Lost in Wonderland and it went to that instrumental, I got chills, because I just thought it was such a brilliant way to let fans know what's coming without telling them too much.
Exactly. And I think it's funny because in those lyrics, I say, you have a million different faces, but they'll never understand unless you let them in. You've been a million different places, so give yourself a chance. Get lost in Wonderland. And it was basically a message to myself, being like, look, they've seen you a million different ways, but like, it's time to kind of just be the clearest and most honest version that you can in this moment. And at the same time, it was a letter to everyone else to kind of hopefully make them feel that they can do that too. And yeah, it is a world, and it's so fun because I've always been like a huge Harry Potter fanatic, and like anything that had to do with like a world or a type of just different, you know, way that the world was working, I always have been obsessed with. And this wonder world, wonderverse, wonderland, whatever you want to call it, does feel pretty like mystical and magical to me, at least. So I'm really excited because of that.
I like that you're calling it a world. And I feel like that's becoming such a novelty thing for albums, because I feel like it makes them feel more than just putting out songs. Like it makes it feel like a real chapter is by calling it a world. And it's almost like you're a method actor living in it while the whole album is doing its thing. It's cool.
Kind of a method actor, or the actual opposite. You're just you.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
yeah, no, me too. And I really think that when you find a concept that you love so much, it really makes the whole thing more exciting. It makes the videos more exciting. It makes the artwork more exciting. It makes everything feel way more exciting, because you can just get involved, and all of a sudden my album feels like I'm Harry Potter.
I can tell how much Harry Potter was a little bit of an influence for this.
I mean, it's always been an influence for me. So
how was it creating a music video with everything going on right now?
it was really weird, and it was really, different. And the one thing that was amazing about it was quieter, and it gave me a chance to really connect with my director and myself, and really connect with the story. And this music video is so special. It's the first time I've ever really sat down and thought about what I wanted the visual to look like to one of my songs. And yeah, it just feels cohesive to the whole world that I've been raving about for the last 5-10 minutes. And I don't want to just keep rambling so hard about how great I think it is, because I think everyone's going to have their own opinion, but it just feels magical to me. And it feels like expression. It really does. And that's a really funny artist thing for me to say, but I actually feel good saying that.
Well, you should. I mean, you should be proud of it. And, one last thing before we go, without giving too much away about this new body of work, what is something from it or during the creative process of doing the album Wonder that has made you the most proud of yourself?
I think that there came a point in the process of making this album where I decided that the album already did exactly what it needed to do, which was it made me happy. It gave me the chills. I sent it to my mom, I sent it to my girlfriend, I sent it to my best friends, and they all were ecstatic about it. And if that was the end of the run of Wonder, I would have been able to live my life extremely happy. And the fact that it gets to go out to the rest of the world, and millions of people hopefully get to hear it, is just the biggest bonus in the entire world. But I already accepted the fact that the Wonder is a success to me, and that made me really proud, because that's the first time I've ever felt that about any of my music. The rest now is just bonuses on top.
Oh, well, that's incredible. And I can't wait to hear the rest of it. Thank you so much for talking to us at Radio.com, and congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.